Alright, so my book for this project was Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. And, if I could give this book justice, we'd be here for hours, days even. It's not even a very long book, it's only about 90 pages, but it's dense, it's filled with meaning and stories, great examples and ways to deal with hardship that are very relatable. And I think especially relatable since we're all going off into the world, either to college or in the workforce and kind of making our own. There's two stories I want to focus on in particular that I think are especially relevant. But first, I'll give you all a brief summary of what happens. So, The Alchemist is about Santiago, and Santiago is a shepherd who lives in Spain. And he keeps having this reoccurring dream, and he's really not sure how to interpret it. So he goes to a dream interpreter. She tells him that the dream is telling him to go to Egypt, because at the Egyptian pyramids, there's some kind of hidden treasure there. So Santiago's like, all right, I got my destiny, I got my dream. I'm going to go to those pyramids, I'm going to figure out whatever treasure this is. And along the way, he encounters myriads of hardship. I mean, he gets beaten and robbed multiple times, dragged through the desert, held captive, death threats and everything. But there's two examples that I think really highlight the point that Coelho is trying to convey to the audience. The first one is when he gets robbed. So when he first comes to Africa, after leaving from Spain, he doesn't speak the language, and he meets a man, and the man tells him, hey, I'll be your guide. I'll speak to people for you. I'll show you around. Well, the man ends up being a thief, and he takes all of Santiago's money, and Santiago is left in the marketplace with no one who cares for him, no way home, and no money. And he says, well, there's two ways I can look at this. I can either be, a victim of some awful thief, or I can be some kind of adventurer on some kind of grand quest. And he decides to be the adventurer. And I think that's an interesting dichotomy because, we've all encountered hardships before, and we all will encounter hardships. For the rest of our lives, we will encounter hardships. And when you encounter these things, you can either take the approach of the victim and say, well, there's no way I could have gotten around this, something bad happened to me, I'm done, it's over, geez. Or you can take the more proactive approach. You can take the more productive approach and say, you know what, in spite of this thing happening, in spite of it, it happened, and, even though it happened, I'm still going to go. I'm still going to accomplish my dream. I'm going to do what I want to do. That's exactly what Santiago does here. He says, look, I got nothing. I got robbed right off the bat, literally right off the bat. I'm still going to make it to Egypt. I'm still going to go to Egypt. I'm still going to find my treasure. Second example. So he's in the desert, and he gets captured by a group of bandits. And the bandits are like, all right, we're going to kill you. And he's like, wait. He's like, give me 3 days, and I will turn into the wind. I'm going to perform a miracle. And they're like, all right, whatever. Might as well. Let's let this kid do his thing. So on the third day, Santiago is sitting on a rock, and everybody's watching him. And somehow, Santiago manages to turn into the wind in front of everybody's eyes. And when I first read this, I had no idea what to think. I was like, what? But I kind of thought about it for a while, and I guess here's my take on it. Things in life will seem impossible. Maybe they have in the past. Things will just seem flat out impossible. No one else can do it. I can't do it, And just like the first example, you can take that and you can say, oh, geez, well, clearly this is impossible. No one's going to be able to do this. Might as well give up now. Or you can say, you know what? It might seem impossible now. I'm still going to try. I'm going to try my level best to accomplish this feat. Again, that's what Santiago does here. He says, how in the heck am I going to turn myself into the wind? I don't know. I'm going to try, though. I don't care if I've never done it before, if no one else has done it before. I'm going to do it. These two examples, for me, exemplify what The Alchemist is all about. In a way, you could say life is characterized by suffering. We will always, forever, struggle against some kind of force, and we will always, forever, have some kind of dream that we want to accomplish. But accomplishing those dreams is what makes life worth living. Seeing our destinies and realizing them is what makes life worth living. And that's why I think The Alchemist is such an important book, because it tells you and it shows you, how do you deal with these hard things that happen? How do you deal with this adversity and then accomplish your dream? Because it's a given. You'll always find struggle. There will always be something hard in life. And you will always have a dream. These things always exist. How do you deal with one and still accomplish the other? The Alchemist gives a very, very, very clear-cut and amazing answer to this problem. I implore you all to read it, and I think the advice given in it and the stories and the lessons learned will help you for the rest of your life. and I'm very, very happy and thankful that I had the chance to read it. Thank you guys very much.